All right, what's up, everybody? So when I first started doing these Tuesday calls, which Shayla, I noticed you called it the 10X Tuesday call. I
Yeah.
uh, I think I had a couple years where I called it the 10X. I've gone back to the roots. The original vision behind Tuesday was coming out of the meltdown, and it was just I'm going to put on the best sales meeting in the mortgage industry for the week. And that was I've kind of gone back to that. Like this is a weekly sales meeting put on by Mortgage Coach. And so, Shayla, you think we can pull off the best sales meeting in the mortgage industry today?
I know we can. I'm actually missing my team sales meeting to be on with you to the larger audience of the industry, which is awesome. But there is no meeting I like more than my Tuesday sales meeting. We do it at 9:30 every single week. We always start with what's working right now. What are you talking about? Because what I find is as loan officers, we get in a lull when we've met people for coffee, we've met them at a networking event, we did a deal together, but then now we're in a standstill. We don't have any leads to talk about, we don't have any active pre-approvals, and we're going, what do we say if we're going to get the mic at a 5-minute sales meeting pitch this week, or if we're going to do our Monday realtor calls, or we're calling listing agents, like what are we talking about? So I always go around the horn and find out what those things are. And usually it's like a product, a program, a testimonial, a way to win in the market. And so we have a lot. I try to get as many people talking as possible, Dave, which obviously we don't get to do that here. So I'll try to bring the 80 loan officers that work with me into this meeting so that I can share as much of that wisdom. And then we
I,
always go over results from last week because I believe if you're a business person, you know your numbers. And so we show up, we do our best, and we show people we care. And if we're going to show up to a sales meeting, we better show up knowing our numbers from last week, how many leads, deals, and pre-approvals. Sometimes we call it butts in the seat because this to me is the number one thing we all must track, which is how many people did we do a professional consultation with? How many butts in the seats did we get last week? Um, and that's what we do. It's a half hour, it's high energy, high impact. And hopefully people walk out of there going, oh, I'm determined and they know what to say. And they were just, accountable and prepared and ready.
I love that. I love that. So, guys, there's quite a bit to unpack right there. So, I also have always, throughout my career as a leader, felt that weekly sales meetings are critical. I don't think that is the norm. And when I first launched this YouTube channel, by the way, I launched YouTube because it was free. Like I could do this badass weekly meeting. I could put it in YouTube because it was free and it would get a bigger audience. But Shayla, what do you think? What percentage of leaders, whether it's branch, whether it's regional, are doing weekly sales meetings? What's your guess?
I don't know. All I know is I was in the industry for 6 years. I was producing 30, $40 million in production and maximum stressed and busy, and I never had a sales meeting.
Yeah. So I
So
think it's less than 10%
huge.
of loan
Yeah.
officers. And so guys, you have a weekly sales meeting because I'm here. And we're doing a weekly sales meeting. I would like anyone that's on this call and you're engaged to literally do what Shayla said at the beginning, like what's working best? Like if there is something that is kicking ass right now and working best, what is that? Is it working open houses? Is it realtors? Is it, hey, I've been calling financial advisors? I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. It's like what's working best. So I'd love to have some people that are engaged today do that. And if anyone on this call does have some key metrics, like how many calls did I have this week? How many conversations did I have? How many meetings did I have? How many credit pulls did I have? Credit pulls did I have? If you have a key metric, share it in chat. Shayla and I will play off of that. Now I know Shayla, you came with some energy and some intention. I called this the weekly sales meeting. I think you said your headline was create momentum and success, the practical skills and tactics you need for huge growth in 26. So where what was your why on that? What were you thinking?
Okay, well, I have two things I want to, my mind's already like, woo, you guys just got me right after coffee. So, or I'm still in the middle of it, my mushroom coffee. Um, So the first thing, I don't think I've ever shown this to you, Dave, and this is like the thing that I'm most passionate about right now, and I'm just like going to town with it. I call this my sales attack book. Okay, sales attack book. And just a sneak peek teaser, I'm going to do a 4-week sales challenge with this sucker starting at the end of February. And I'm going to announce it on my sales mastery call next week. But my team has already been on this. I put this in their hands back in December. It is a 13-week tracker of your weekly activity. And so it is first, what is your attitude on a scale of 1 to 10? And it's remarkable because I've been having people send me pictures of these. I coach this in groups, I coach it in Catalyst. And as salespeople, we can ride the roller coaster a lot, right? So it's pretty amazing to have that awareness where some days you come in and you're like, gosh, I'm a 4 today. And then the next day you're like, I'm pepping it up and now I'm back to a 7 or 8, or I'm jacked up and I'm at a 10. And so this is the first and foremost thing of every salesperson is to rate your attitude every day, to check in with yourself of, am I enthusiastic? Am I all in? Am I focused? And then of course we've got face-to-face meetings and partner talk to. So this is the effort section of tracking your effort every single week. And then this section is what works for me. And so I helped in all the business planning that we did in December, people like refine down to, other than making calls and seeing people, the maximum that you can commit to doing is 4 things. And you have to determine what it is that you like to do, right? Do you want to do social posts? Do you want to do these live streams? Do you want to record a podcast? Do you want to teach a class? What are the what work strategies for you? And then at the bottom is where you track your results, which is how my people, not only are they in Salesforce and they're seeing all their dashboards there, but like this is some old school, put the name in the box, circle it if you closed and asked for business. This is like, this is your companion to say, like, am I all in? Am I playing big? And what are my results week over week? So the fact that it's February 1st, gang, what I just said to my team, and I recorded them a video since I couldn't be live for them, is that they need to pull out their things. We have a win the week tracker we have on the wall where every single month along the bottom, it says how many partner talk tos and calls did I make? And then what were my units and volume? Because the only way that you're going to hit the big goal is to chunk it down and then to track it every single month. And so since it's the first Tuesday of February, we're putting our January results here. I also, in my sales attack tracker, have a spot to put your January results for leads, credit pulls, pre-approvals, face-to-face meetings, and volume closed. So that you set up here, here's what I think I could do in the first quarter. Here's what I actually did. So that's what we're tracking. This is how we're working to become rainmakers. This is the tool that we're using, Dave.
I love that. So someone asked, can that be digitized? And so I'll let Shayla answer that, but before she does, guys, anything can be digitized. But I also want people to know, like, don't overthink shit. Like write it down, take a picture of it. There's just so many ways that you can be successful, but most importantly, like execute. Like, are you doing a digital version of that just because someone asked a
I
question?
have it on PDF. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And all of my members in Catalyst have the PDF. I actually printed and like did all this for my personal team.
You like to
For the
write.
sales,
Like you have a written thing that's like, right? Like you're more analog for things like this.
yeah, well, I have 2 things. I mean, actually I have 3 things. So this is my system. Okay. I journal every morning. Here's my thank you card. So I got my 10 thank you cards done last week because that's in the what works for me thing. Okay. No, people, I will tell you, I did 1 thank you card in all of 2025. 1. I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. I'm disgusted by
Oh,
that.
I think
But
was I the only one? Because I feel like I got a thank you card from you in 2025. Maybe it
you
was
might have been the
24.
only
Maybe it was
one.
24.
It probably was. But see, that's why this is why this
And it
stuff
was really
we're
nice, by the way. Like it was very, like I really appreciated it. I think I saved it somewhere. And thank you cards, they matter.
oh. Okay, you know what? I probably sent you a thank you card because you spoke at Slay with Shay.
Yes. Well, actually, I got that one, and then I don't know, maybe it was a
Some
year.
other
Who knows?
one,
It could have
some
been
other
could have
time.
been 2 years ago. But I did get a sleigh with
This is,
Shay. Thank you, God.
oh, by the way, this is the power is because if you're a person that is connected with a thank you card, with random text messages, with a video selfie, like you'll never get out of relationship with people, especially if you're speaking from your heart. But guys, I have to track it. I have to like gamify it. I have to like put it somewhere to like remind me. And I've got to tell other people about it, and it holds me accountable. That's just how I am. I am not so I rebel against structure. And when a coach told me the best business is a boring business, I started like surrendering to this structure and to time blocking. I should have heard like the best life is a boring life because and that would really have spun my head off my neck because I've been so afraid to be boring and average and mundane. And I want, I want, as you know, Dave, I want extraordinary and I want to live abroad and I want to travel the world. But it is the routine and ritual. And you and I have connected a lot on having a miracle morning and like how much that has completely changed both of our lives. So I first journal. This is my journal from the fourth quarter, and I just filled up the last page. So I'm starting another one. So I journal every morning, usually 15 minutes. And this is what helps me stay connected to like the way I want to feel and experience my life. What kind of mother do I want to be? What kind of partner and wife do I want to be? How do I want to show up as a leader? Like it just helps me like actually get connected to me and my thoughts and kind of condition myself to be the best I am. Then the second thing I do is I have my Catalyst Planner, which Todd Bookspan, I'm collaborated with him on a Win by Noon, but I go deep every quarter on what is my vision, what are my annual goals? What are my quarterly goals? But then every day I do a hot 15. And so before this morning, Dave, I sat down and I drew out my calendar for the day. I came up with my top 3 things. I have my hit list for my call list. And then I came into this conversation with a couple bullet points ideas, not that you and I need them because we can go all over, but I could show up more prepared and intentional just because I took 15 minutes in my planner. So that's that. That happens for me before I even get here. And then I'm taking notes and adding to my to-do list and all the things, right? The sales attack tracker, if you're in sales, this is your job description. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Your email is not your boss and job description. Your Teams messages, your text messages, your social DMs, a lot of times that's what's dictating our time because we're reactive. This is saying, this is the real work. Am I actually having powerful business meetings? Am I making phone calls and having effective talk tos? And for most people, where they get lost is they don't know the metrics for their goals. So if they want to close 10 deals a month and they're like, okay, I know that 10 deals a month would earn me $350 to $400,000 a year. That would allow me to start saving for my kids' college. That would allow me to upgrade my home and be in a cool place. And that would allow me to retire my spouse so that we have one person. Like I got the dream in, I need 10 loans a month. Then they have no idea what to do on a daily basis to get the 10 deals a month. And that's what this solves. And then that's what this holds you accountable to is like, are you doing the work? Are you filling it out? So those are my 3 things, Dave. And yes, I do have Salesforce and I'm a CRM geek as well. Because it's so much easier to have things digitally and in there. But I need this too. I'm curious about everybody else. Am I archaic with what I'm doing?
No,
Or do
no,
you relate?
you are best practice. I mean, the people that win the most in a way that's scalable, in a way that's sustainable, um, use a CRM, and they use it not not weekly, not even really daily. They use it throughout the day,
All day.
and they do journal, and they do plan, and they do document. Like these are best practice things. So Mark asked, are we able to get that book? How can people get on the program?
Yeah, okay. I don't know because I wasn't prepared to answer that question, Mark. And I'm sure my marketing manager is like, are you just
They're
going to
like,
give away
what,
everything
Shayla?
for
You aren't
free? Or
prepared
do
to
they
answer that question?
do they have to come to Catalyst? Okay, so here's what you ought to do. Email team@ShaylaGifford.com. and just tell me what you want and we will help you and we will get it to you. Um, and just know that here's the invite, here's the pitch, here's the close, um, so that everybody knows I can help you. Next week on the 12th, I'm doing my monthly sales mastery call. So if you go on my website or you go on my Instagram, you can register for the sales mastery call. I do one every single month. Dave, I never thought about having the best sales meeting in the industry, but that's what I would say is my mission, is to have the best sales training in the industry. I've got a really, really big depth of a history in sales, hardcore sales, one-on-one sales training. And I realize that most people don't get that kind of sales training. So that's what I do, generally the second Thursday of the month. So my next one's February 12th. And what I'm teaching on that is the exact playbook for how to win in-person meetings. I call it win the interview. I have a 3-step system to crushing it at sales, but part 2 is you have to win the interview. And I'm really quickly going to want to flip this on you, Dave, so you could show us the latest and greatest with your TCAs and AI, because I think that's such a key part of winning the interview and having meetings that matter and that are powerful. But on February 12th, I'm going to go through, like, how do you prepare for a meeting? How do you know if you won the interview? What's the debrief look like? When you go to an annual review call with a client, what are your bullet points? When you sit down for a coffee meeting with a realtor, what are the bullet points? What are the 6 questions you ask so you can have more of a business meeting and not a buddy to buddy sale? What does an agent pitch look like? If you're going to sit down and pitch an agent on Zoom and show them your value, your process, who you are, what is that? So I think it's going to be one of my best, maybe the best, most content-rich sales mastery calls that I've done. And then on that call, I'm going to launch this 4-week sales challenge. So the people that sign up for that, it's going to be $97. I'm going to mail you one of these. Okay. So that's what I know I can do and I already have planned. And if you want the PDF ahead of that to get going, I'll share it with you. I don't care if you print it. I'm not trying to make money. I'm like, I don't need to do that. I just want to guide people. So February
So
12th, go to shaylagifford.com, check out how to register for the sales mastery call.
So
Um,
ShaylaGifford.com. Make sure you're following Shayla on Instagram. You can private message her. Uh, if you're watching this in YouTube, we'll put all this information down below. So check it out. I'm sure Shayla just gave you team at ShaylaGifford.com. Shayla, someone just asked what the best CRM is. I'm going to answer that first. And I've said this so many times, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I mean, the best CRM is the CRM you use. They all work. Like literally, even the worst CRM works if you use it. Have a like I've people always ask me, Dave, you've interviewed hundreds, probably thousands of some of the best loan officers in America. What's the one thing they all have in common? And one, they're consistent. They've got a process. It works. By the way, how do you know it works? By their results. So they have winning process that they do consistently. And how did they do it consistently? They have a CRM. And I've literally there's no best CRM, I don't think. I think the one that you actually use works. But Shayla, how would you answer that?
the 2 things that stop people from blowing up are fear and overwhelm. And so I would say first, you got to deal with the overwhelm by really simplifying your goal and what needs to happen every day to win the day. Like, how do you know you put a W on the day and a W on the week? That's really important. I'm sure I've got a lot of recorded stuff on my YouTube videos that I've helped people write their goals. Um, I know I do this in Catalyst, which is my coaching program, where I help people write the business plan, simplify the plan so you don't have that overwhelm. Then you just have to deal with your own getting your vibe right, learning how to breathe, learning how to do a little hot 15 morning prep so you can come in and do what you need to do. But overwhelm is the problem. So with CRMs, if you feel like you got to go build it from scratch, if you feel like you got to have it perfect, if all those things, the perfectionist tendencies that we have is why people don't do it. So I don't know. I've only been on Salesforce And prior to that, we had like a, I don't know, rinky dink one. It was I was on Excel spreadsheets, honestly. So if you're not tracking anything, I would start with Excel spreadsheets and I would have a sales activity tracker like this. I would have a lead tracker. I would then have a pre-approval tracker. And then I would have an in escrow tracker. And then I would have a past client tracker. And guess what? That can all live on one spreadsheet with tabs along the bottom. And start there, because I'm telling you, for the first 7 years of my career before I got coached, I didn't track leads. I didn't have a plan. I was freaked out and scared every day and just reacting and seeing how fast I could respond to email and to text. I was taking loan apps on the back of, napkins or envelopes, and I didn't have a team. I didn't have I was just working off of sheer fear, hustle, desperation, and like whatever was in my memory. So some people are using Outlook reminders, and they'll go from task to task because they'll say, I talked to Dave Savage today on February 3rd, so I'm going to put a note to call him on March 3rd. Whatever works, but yeah, I've heard of them all, and I think hopefully you're with a company that provides you a CRM and you could just buy in and use it, because when the systems connect, it's really helpful. When your LOS, the loan stage changes and it feeds over here to your CRM, and the CRM sends out automatic communication and marketing and all that kind of stuff. That's the brilliant stuff. But I would not spend any time building it. You're a loan officer. You're not a tech builder, right, Dave? I mean, once you started building tech, you had to hang up your loan officer boots. Is that
Yeah,
right?
you can't be great at both, especially not best of breed enterprise level technology. Um, so David Wakefield just jumped in. By the way, David Wakefield, what's up, brother? He is actually a local loan officer to Jacksonville, Florida, where I'm at right
Nice.
now, and he drove to meet with me and have a walk and talk at 6:30 in the morning here in Florida. It was great seeing you on Saturday, David. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me. I got a lot of inspiration from our conversations. Let's see. Do we have any other questions that we haven't answered, Shayla? I think we're doing pretty good,
Mike,
but
thank you for saying that the overwhelm gets worse the older we get. I would agree with that.
wait,
And I think
wait a
that's,
minute. I'm 61 and I do not agree. But you go
you
ahead
don't
with
feel
your side of that.
overwhelmed? Well, I
Well,
here's what
if
here's
as
what I
long as
mean.
you do your part and then I'll tell my part.
Okay. Here's what I mean about as I've gotten older. The old way that Shayla was functioning, which was pure chaos and pure adrenaline, that has not held up as I've gotten older, as I've had babies, as you got brain fog, all the shit. So I have been, I wouldn't say forced, because ultimately, like, I've always wanted to win no matter what. I've wanted to be exceptional. I've wanted to be top of the board. I've wanted to, if I'm going to do it, I want to be all in. The only shame that I have, and I've been really exploring a lot of my shame and worthlessness and worthiness and all kinds of shit, is come from when I play half-ass and I'm not giving it my all. But if I am living in chaos and then I can't sleep and then I'm grumpy and then I'm showing up not my best, that's when I feel bad. So as I've gotten older and I've said, like, okay, duh, wake up, grow up. Those are the two things that have to happen to keep having growth. You got to wake up and you got to grow up. And so sometimes that wake up moment can be overwhelm, and just getting so pissed of continually being an overwhelm, which causes me to procrastinate or to play small or to be a victim or whatever. So that could be a wake up moment. But the grow up part is getting a coach, getting a planner, having systems in your CRM, surrendering to your CRM. That's the grow up part. And I had a lot of resistance to growing up because I liked my shiny, sparkly, spontaneous, adrenaline filled nut job personality until that didn't work for me anymore. So I hope that helps. Like, that's where the overwhelm is. Like, and the other thing is I want more things in my life today too, by the way. Like, if you met me from 28 to 38, I cared about one thing, and that was about getting rich and beating everyone else. And I went from a girl in a backpack as one person, no team, to $1 billion in 8 years. So I was hyper focused, and my health could go to the wayside. My kids were being dragged along. My husband just had to sit in the back seat. Like that is what I hyper focused and obsessed about. And now at 45, I'm like, no, I want to have joy. I want to have peace. I want to be stoked. I want to feel good. I want to be as strong as I ever been. I want to be madly in love. I want to be wildly engaged with my kids. Like I have to be organized, prepared, and grown up to not be overwhelmed and suck and then be half-ass. So that's my answer to to aging and
Yeah,
overwhelm.
I'm going to end up at a similar place in my message, Mike, and I'm 61 this year. Well, I'm 61 last year. I'll actually be 62 this year in June. And I have a part of my code. It's called always better, never bitter. First of all, I do not think most adults and human beings in America, and maybe other places too, live a life of always better, never bitter. And I think the older they get, the more bitter they get. Like I think that is a natural um, humanity. And in order to be someone who's always getting better and never bitter, you need to be locked in. So like I'm ADD and there's things I need to do, practices I need to do, journaling, meditating. For the past 2 years, there's a morning protocol of sauna, plunge, and and if you do those things that you need to do to be locked in, you can be always better and never bitter. And you can actually like like in my 20s, I mean, I was crazy. Like ask my wife of 34 years, like she used to talk to friends and they call them savage stories. Like I was bonkers and possessed and obsessed and overwhelmed. Uh, but I mean, I was successful. I used a CRM. I did the things I needed to do to win and become one of the nation's top loan officers. At one point, I was one of the top 50 loan officers in the country. Not in a sustainable way, not in a way that I could be a man who's married for 34 years, who I am now. But if you live a life of always better, never bitter, and you have the right protocols and you execute on those protocols, um, you can do it. And then also forgiveness is really important. So in
Yeah.
2024, I lost 34 pounds. No, 38 pounds. And I was locked in with my health game. I was doing all these great things. And in 2025, I did not lose weight. I gained a few pounds and I have forgiven myself. Now it's 2026 and I'm going to get back locked in on my weight game. So I would just say this story of, oh, we're more overwhelmed, as we age. No, it doesn't have to be that way. You just need to get locked in on certain things to win personally and financially. And I, no, like we could just kill it forever if
Well,
we are locked in and we do the right things.
they're like you had a wake up moment at some point of, hey, I'm fat. I don't like this anymore. I'm going to do something about it. And we make a new commitment. And so I think in that state of overwhelm or fear, fear can either propel you or it can paralyze you. And if you are recognizing that you're paralyzed, all you have to do is look the fear in the face and say, like, what is it truly that I'm scared of? What is the worst thing that can happen to me? And then what am I doing to help myself get out of that? Right. Like a lot of people, Dave, I've noticed as the world has gone really fast and there's technology and you're expected to have a brand and be on video and do, answer, you know, clients over text and over WhatsApp and over email. I mean, it can be overwhelming, but it's what story are you telling yourself about it? Because a lot of people struggle with, am I irrelevant? Am I any good at this anymore? Does anybody need me? And and ultimately that's a story we've been telling ourselves our whole lives. It just depends on our relationship with it. And so I think that's where this self-forgiveness comes from of saying like, no, I got this. I'm capable. Look at all the things that I've done and I've overcome, and look at all the ways in which I've adapted and I've grown. Look at all the talents and the skills that I have. Start looking for evidence of your greatness and start looking for evidence of your capability. And then you can start looking those weak statements in the face and confronting them and saying, like, I mean, shoot, people become the president of our country in their 80s, right? Like, come on. Like, if you're not in your 80s, like we've got this. We can do this. So if you're paralyzed, that's the thing. If you're propelled, like Dave and I were really scared, had our own broken childhoods and stories as we all do, and then we ran really fast and hard with chaos, right? So it's a wake up, grow up. So where do we need to wake up to a crappy story, a limiting belief, a feeling of being stale or stuck or complacent or avoiding an issue? And then what are we going to do to grow up? And the grow up part is the taking responsibility and setting the protocols and the rituals and taking our power back. And so anyway, and we could relate that to anything, to relationships, to our bodies, to food. Um, I'm calling it full on February, Dave, because
Oh, I
in
love that.
January,
Full on February. I'm
yeah,
writing that down.
full on. That's my theme. It's full on February. It's no snooze button. It's no doom scrolling. It's no, wasting BS time. Like the opportunity in life is lived now in the present moment, and like what that means though is that some days I run myself too tired. Last night I didn't do homework with the girls. Now my daughter's going to be behind. I was lazy, so I had to forgive myself this morning and go, okay, damn it, forgive myself, shake it off, re-engage, be back in it. So
So,
I think
so
that's how
first of
you
all,
keep winning.
so for everyone who is live on Zoom, this is awesome. I'm absolutely loving all the comments. Full on February. Who's on? Like we are now February 3rd, so it's like the second business day of February. There's no reason that this little crew right here, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're part of the recording, you can join like full on February. Forgive yourself. Like if you had some goals and some things you were going to do in January, you haven't executed. Next, forgive, move on, forget. Don't hold that baggage. Don't say, "Oh, I'm just one of those people that's not organized." Oh, I just I'm not good with technology. Like whatever it is that is not serving you. Like it's not serving your financial success, it's not serving your personal success. Forgive yourself, move on. So we got the Super Bowl this weekend. So we're like in the third quarter now. Like the first half, by the way, Shayla, I had no idea that the first half was going to go the way it was. Uh, I think I had some different topics to cover, but I think it was a pretty cool first half of today's sales meeting. I think we gave people a lot of takeaways. Let's reset. Where do you want to
Before,
go for the second half?
okay, I want to put a bow on a couple things. Let me help you with your metrics. So take out a piece of paper and a pen. This is a sales meeting. I want to help you with your metrics and give you clarity. So, let's say I'm going to give everybody an example. Let's say you want to close 5 loans a month. Okay. You need 5 leads a week. Okay. I'm just going to go through my thing here so I can help you. So if you want 5 leads or 5 closings a month, you need 5 leads a week. That means you would generate 20 leads a month and at a 25% conversion, then you're closing what you need. Okay. So the way you win the week is by generating those. Now, there's a difference between a lead and a referral. I just coached several of my people because they take a snapshot of this, and in 2 seconds, I can go, ooh, that's interesting. You had 18 leads, but only 2 credit pulls. So what kind of leads are those? How do they get referred to you? Why are we not getting those turned into credit pulls and applications? Where's the gap there, right? So Dave and I believe and work really hard to teach you to have a referral-based business. The reason to have an effective, powerful meeting with an agent and a great consult with a TCA with a borrower is so that people go, wow, and they look at you as an advisor and they highly refer you. So pay attention to if you're working leads or referrals. So 5 closings, 5 leads a week. Then you want 80% of those leads to go to credit pull. If you get a bone, man, you got to be dog on a bone. You got to coach your people how to refer you. Do you want a 3-way text to be referred? Do you want it to be emailed? What is the best way, highly likelihood that you are going to get that person on the phone and get their credit pulled? Okay. We've got to get that step before anything else can happen. So that means you want to have 3 divided by 5. So you want 4 credit pulls a week. Okay. So now we have 5 leads a week, 4 credit pulls a week. And then for pre-approvals, I want 40% of your leads to go to pre-approval. So I want 2 pre-approval meetings every week. And a pre-approval meeting could be somebody who needs credit repair and isn't ready, could be somebody who needs to save money or get a cosigner or something like that. But if you have an intentional meeting with husband and wife, and you are running through the playbook of a good pre-approval meeting, which I'll talk about on next week's Sales Mastery. Dave has an old recording of mine on exactly how my pre-approvals go. That's your biggest indication of a paycheck. Okay. If you give people a TCA, you record that video, that's the goal. That's the key. So then you should be getting at least 1 to 2 new deals a month or a week. Okay. Because if you want to close 5, you really need to put 7 on the board in order to have 2 roll out and fall over. And that's how you consistently hit those numbers. Now, once you close 5, 3 months in a row, and now you're going to make your goal 7, then we just up those metrics. Okay. So 5 closings equals 5 leads, 4 credit repulls, 2 pre-approved meetings, and 1 to 2 new deals a week. On the effort side, you want to have 3x the partner talk tos as you want credit pulls. Why? If you talk to 12 real estate agents, for example, it could be 12 CPAs, 12 financial advisors, but we all know that real estate agents are the most likely to refer us buyers. If you have 12 effective conversations a week with different real estate agents, you're probably going to be able to pull 4 credit reports because you're going to dig up opportunity out of those 12 conversations and you're going to find 4. The problem is people talk to the same 4 people every week and they wonder why they're not getting their business to grow. You got to have that. Okay. So whatever your credit pull goal is, 3 exits. So in this case, it was 4 credit pulls, 3 exit. That's 12 talk tos. You might have to dial 50 people to get 12 talk tos, or you might get a dial 12 and get 12. I don't care how it works, but you got to track the talk tos, voice to voice talk tos. And then in terms of your face-to-face meetings, I want those to be 1 to 1.5 times your closing goal. So if you're trying to close 5 deals a month, then I want you to have 5 to 8 face-to-face meetings every single week. Okay. So I hope that I got you that you could write that formula down and then you could apply that formula to 10 closings a month or 15 closings a month or 20 or whatever the case is. So I thought I'd put a wrap on that. The last question I have for you, Dave, on this whole management of energy and enthusiasm and overwhelm is, are you medicated for your ADHD?
Nope. But
No.
my parents medicated me in grade school with Ritalin. But and I think I had different things in high school that they did, but as an adult, I tested it a few times. But I mean, I really am very sensitive to anything, like, whether it's alcohol and other things. I can feel it, and I didn't like the feeling, so I have chosen as an adult to like literally I'm at an event and my ADD is just off the charts today. And so I did do my morning walk this morning, but I came out right here and I closed my eyes a few times, like after meetings, and then I would just box breathe. And I was like, okay, I'm back in semi-normal human being mode. So I have things I have to do.
Thank you for sharing that. So we discovered that both my kids had some form of ADHD, and I think it's circumstantial ADHD. Like
Oh,
if
for
things are
sure. And by the way,
really,
maybe I should be on medication. Like I'm not saying like there's probably a good argument that I should take something and I'd be better off. I just
but
have
here's what I'll
tried it
tell
a
you
few
that we
times.
here's what we've learned, Dave, and I just read a really good book about this, is that when life is really chaotic and uncertain and unsettled and there's a lot of stressors, my two daughters and my husband's ADHD, through the roof. And we've medicated all three of them. And for Galen, medication really worked because he had never tried anything. So it was like at 40 or 42, and all of a sudden he's like, my brain was like, whew. And he just the level of focus and the calm and was amazing. Now, after 2 years, he's off. But what happened for him is he was able to see what it felt like to get his brain right. And just like what you're
Mm.
experiencing, he now knows how to get his brain more right. Not every day can he like naturally do it, but he's out in the sun every day. He walks and he works out every day. He's very conscious about foods, right? Because you start learning how to work with your body. But the medication for him did make a significant difference. And I think his confidence really went up for those 2 years because he was like, holy shit, I can lock in and I can get things all the way done and all of that. And then he elected to get off of it because he's got weak kidneys and stuff like that. My daughter, same. I've medicated them at times, but once I got them into a school environment that was small and it's high pressure because it's intense academically, but from a social pressure place, they felt safe and welcome and seen and supported. All of a sudden, they don't need it, and it's quite amazing to actually be aware that your circumstances, your environment, how much you sleep or drink or this or that can really, affect your mental performance and stability. So I thought we should talk about that because Galen wouldn't know he had ADHD until he was in his 40s because we were struggling with the girls. And then the more we learned about it, the more I was like, hey, and he's like, whoa. And so wherever you're at in your journey, I hope you figure out how to optimize yourself because this is what Dave and I are, Dave's writing his book about the code. This is about Dave's optimization of his beliefs and his core root of who he is and how he functions in the world. So that's like your heart, your soul, your beliefs, Dave, your code. And then some of these things are like optimization of you as a human, as your well-being, like I know what I can eat, and my window is about that narrow. And so I have to eat super, super clean because if I go like that, whoop, I pay. But I've learned that over time. So,
Yeah, this has been awesome. I'm getting some good therapy today. Yeah. And
will
by the way,
you?
yes, whoever put sugar, alcohol, caffeine, here's my take on that. So first of all, I truly cannot do more than one or two espressos like first thing in the morning. And by the way, I love it. Like it's a cool family ritual. I make my wife a cappuccino every morning, and it gives me a lot of just love doing that for Kelly. Sometimes two, but like neither one of us could do more than that, or we're like crazy. And she doesn't drink much alcohol. I like wine and tequila. But if I drink too much, like everything's out of a whack. So, anyways, this is a rad call. All right.
I
So, how do you want to
and
close the fourth quarter? Like we are now
I
in the
want
fourth quarter.
I want to put you on the spot, Dave, because this is where you've made a lot of growth in Mortgage Coach and the partnership of Trust Engine, and you're using AI to get this to be simpler and simpler and faster and faster. And I know this kind of leans into that whole optimization piece. Um, and I think in the past, Mortgage Coach could be overwhelming because you're like, oh, frick, it's another thing I have to learn. And how long is it going to take me to learn it? And I don't want to be lost when I'm in front of a client. I'm already feeling nervous because they're treating me like a commodity and they're just rate shopping. And now I've got this new tech and I feel whatever. The last time you quickly demoed to me what you're building through AI to show the TCAs just blew my mind. And I said, Dave, this is it. You're now going to get everyone on Mortgage Coach and doing these TCAs because it's going to help with all that overwhelm of the screens and where you input stuff. So I don't know if you're prepared sitting on the balcony in a million island to show
Well,
us or
first of
demo
all,
something.
I'm always prepared. So someone asked me where I was, and I'm at the IMB, Independent Mortgage Bankers event. And I actually, for the first time, did a demo with my laptop. Like I pulled out my laptop, walking down the hall of a thing, and I demoed it. So had my backpack on. I'm like, oh, computer, let's go. So yeah, I'm always ready. So what do you want me to do now?
Well, show us what you're able to demo about how I can give an AI prompt
Oh,
and
the
it,
future. Okay, I got you. I
yeah.
got you. So, all right. So let me clear my desktop here. And I've got, I'm at an event where I'm meeting with a lot of executives. So I've got, so by the way, guys, this is Alpha, and we've put AI into the mortgage coach experience for the consumer so the consumer can do it. Um, what do you want? You want me to do FHA versus conventional? What's a scenario? You want to do a refi or a purchase or a
Let's do
cost of living?
refi options.
So guys, you see that little prompt right there? So, and remember, this is what's coming. So for all you mortgage coach users, it's coming pretty soon. I'm not going to say a date, but I mean, like it's coming this quarter, so either this month or next month, this will be in general release. But so you could take a prompt, by the way, it could be an image. So you could actually take someone's mortgage statement and it will scrape
Wow.
that. By the way, you could take a screenshot of an email. Uh, you could do a voice to text. So literally you could be at a soccer game and it will be on the mobile device and you could just go, could have just met some parent and, spoke it into it. I want to show a rate and term refinance and they're currently at blank loan amount, X interest rate, and I want to show them blank and blank. So, what this did is it took this prompt and
Which,
one,
Dave, and some people are going to be listening to this on the treadmill. I'll just repeat, but the prompt basically says, here's Jane Smith, here's her email. Her original loan amount was a 412, 30-year fixed at 5.75. Here's her remaining balance, 400,000 at 27 years. Here's her P&I payment, current value. And you're asking the AI to put together scenarios for the current loan versus a 30-year fixed and a 15-year fixed versus cash out with as much cash out as possible. So basically, you've given it like, here's the basics about the client, and here's three scenarios I want to be able to present. You pop this in here, and it took, I was watching how much time, maybe a minute and a half to drum up the scenario on the right.
yeah. By the way, it's also pulling into a database. So if I had information on Jane Smith in my CRM and we were monitoring it, anything we have on it, so it's enhancing the prompt. And then it's creating a strategy blueprint. So literally you have AI telling, and by the way, telling you what the assumptions are, creating a rationalization. By the way, you could, as a loan officer, edit this. And then it's configuring like how you want to present it. And then it's making the total cost analysis. And when we do roll this out, like all this, by the way, it could automatically happen. Like we could take a database and literally have this mortgage coach scenario for everyone. So, I mean, as you guys saw, this total cost analysis, which I'm going to put in chat. So anyone who's on the call, you can click on this. So we've used AI to help the loan officer be smarter, be more efficient, remove friction from learning how to do something. And you've created this. And then we've also embedded AI into the actual consumer experience. So what is APR? Like that's a really kind of shocking how many times people ask that. Remember voice to text? If I'm going to live in the home for 5 years, what's the best option? The consumer can either interact with this. And remember, they ask questions like, are these rates competitive in the marketplace? And the cool thing about this is, and by the way, this is in the market right now. Like the consumer AI is in the market right now. And the cool thing about this is now you're reading their mind. Like it's telling you, like, we're giving you an alert saying, hey, this is what the
The
consumer
questions
asked.
they're asking.
This is what AI told them. I actually had a loan officer come up to me at an event recently, like, oh my God, I love it. I had a consumer ask, what would the rate be at 2%? And the loan officer could see that. And then he could call the consumer. And I can't tell you how many times I've had loan officers say, oh, I lost a loan because I quoted them this. And then they talked to another loan officer, they quoted them that. And I never brought it up. Well, if you had Mortgage Coach and if you gave the consumer the power to actually do it, you know what they're thinking, you would know what they're asking other people. And so yeah, it's pretty badass. Like I'm pretty
Can
fired
you
up
what
about bringing it to market.
can you go back one more time? I want to go back to the AI
Yeah,
output where you can see the knowledge, the blueprint. So to the left of that one, I
yeah,
think
hang
was
on, I'm trying to,
yeah, it
where
was the
is
one
that?
right to the
Right here,
left, I
right
think.
here.
Okay. So go back to knowledge because I'm thinking about also when you grow a team and people are brand new to mortgage and it takes a while to put this together, think how fast you can start training people
Mm.
that are on your team, right? Like this is phenomenal. So go to strategy blueprint real quick. Um, so it shows assumptions. So this is again from a training perspective. This is assuming the borrower has a greater than 740 FICO. The borrower is seeking maximum cash out while maintaining a manageable monthly payment, because yes, that's what people are thinking about. And the property is located in an area with a standard property tax and insurance rates. So there's three distinct options to consider. It includes a 30-year fixed, a 15-year fixed, um, or the cash out, maximizing her goal for equity. So a person could read this and start going, okay, now I have to explain this to a customer. Let me figure this out. The other thing that I think is so cool, Dave, is like, say you're a new loan officer, and I coach a lot of these people, and they're like, Shay, I don't have a database, right? Like, I've only been originating for a minute and I've only closed, 15 loans so far. Well, all these people that you know at the soccer game and everywhere else that own a house, every homeowner on the airplane, at the coffee shop, on the ski chairlift, like this is the old school way of how we did business. I met somebody the other day for an interview and I said, "Hey, are you a homeowner?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, you're 36. I need you to understand what it's like to be a homeowner and go through the pre-approval process before I ever consider hiring you. Because I want you to understand why in this country people are waiting till they're 40 years old to buy a house. And also, if you end up buying a house at 36, you've got an incredible story to tell other people. Well, this now could be a situation where you call those people that are homeowners and you say, "Hey, I've got this new technology that's running up scenarios for me. I'm sure you're not looking to refinance, but I'm trying to learn my tech. Would you mind if I sent this to you?" You can go pull deeds of trust to see what their original loan amount was. You can ask them, "Do you roughly know your current interest rate?" You can, I mean, you could put random people stuff in here and then wow people and say, "Hey, this is the technology. This is really, really cool." Again, I'm sure you're not looking for a refinance, but if you were, here's three scenarios. I don't know about you, Dave, but this is how I started. When I got started, I didn't have realtors. I didn't have anything. I was 23 years old and I was like, okay, I just have to start showing people things and stimulating their mind and stimulating who they know that they could refer me. Who do you know that's 35 or 36? Who do you know that's recently gotten married? Who do you know that's a homeowner that might be interested in getting this information? And what you've built with AI and what's coming, Dave, helps you really easily wow people with mortgage stuff, which is nerdy mortgage stuff. But it's like, I don't know. I just have to finish with this couple that's 36. They just had a baby 8 months ago. And he really wanted to get into the fire academy and fire department. So he worked really, really hard to get into the fire academy, gets in the fire academy, gets started with his career, but not till he was 32. And so they feel behind. His wife is really talented, but then they want to have a family and she's got all these gig works and she knows social media and she's done corporate stuff and she's a travel agent and all this stuff. And she's like, I've been wondering if I need to go back and get a full-time career. And I was like, this is the value of a pre-approval meeting. Like you will make your next 10 years of life decisions about how you build your family. Do you get daycare? Do you get a nanny? Does mom work full time? Do you do gig work? Because you actually sit down with a loan officer and talk about what you want to build the next 10 years, including owning a home and how to do that. And I just think that's where our clients are. They're walking around everywhere at 35 years old, not owning a home. And we have to just talk to people and say, hey, did you know? Can I show you some things and give people options? And so, Dave, I'm super pumped on what you've built now, because we can scale quickly with this.
Love it. Hey, give a quick smile real quick. I'm sending I just texted Katie, or Kate, who you introduced me to. So I told her we were on a
Ah,
podcast together.
good.
Yeah. Well,
I
Shayla,
want to
first of
ask
all, thank
the
you for
people.
letting me show that off. I appreciate that. And stay tuned, guys. If you are not uh, following me on all social media channels, trust me, when we roll this out, general market, I will have it on social media. LinkedIn is, business to me. I post there regularly. Obviously, our YouTube channel, if you're not following this YouTube channel, like you should, it's a incredibly valuable. Couple times a week, we're putting interviews in it. By the way, if you're not following Shayla Gifford, I mean, her content is amazing. Her podcast is insane. Like, truly some of the best content. Both of us are working very hard to create impact. Like we are, I think it would be safe to assume we are obsessed with impact. One more thing I want to say before I give Shayla the last word of the day is one of the things I'm incredibly fired up about is we're going to be rolling out next week, actually. The MBA is doing a collaboration with First Home IQ, and we want to have hundreds of loan officers attending the advocacy event this year. So it's in Washington, D.C. It's April 14th and 15th. And the cool thing about this, guys, is we're actually going to pay to have some of the world-class social media content creators and have film crews around Washington, D.C., so that you could be the loan officer in your local market that's going to Washington, D.C. to lobby on the Hill. The MBA will actually train you how to be a lobbyist on the 14th. And then on the 15th, we'll actually go lobby. You want to go in to a senator's office, House of Representatives office, and lobby on behalf of the mortgage industry. Guys, we got you. So keep an eye on this. I'll put a link to this. You can go to firsthomeiq.com/MBA advocacy and sign up. So click on the link, sign up. We hope to have hundreds of loan officers. I'd love to have at least one loan officer from every state in the union joining me. Shayla, I'll talk offline. I'm not going to try to put you on the spot during a call, but we would love to have you there. And closing thought, Shayla.
I just want you guys to join me on the sales mastery call on February 12th, because I want to teach you how to have these powerful meetings. And until Dave's AI empowered TCA is ready to go, I would still become a TCA user, a mortgage coach user. Commit to wowing people, commit to being that person that says, well, did you know? And get involved with conversations early. And that's how you make things happen for people. The last story
So,
I'll tell, which is
so
10.
real quick, before you tell that last story, if you're going to sign up and be at Shayla, she put a link in chat. If you're watching this in YouTube, we'll have a link from housing.link, and we'll have a link to sign up for Shayla's event. Every link we've mentioned during this call, we'll put there. I would love people, give us a heart if we connected with you. Like if you heard Shayla and you're like, I'm gonna be there. Like we can't see your faces. So like let us know who's coming. All right. So Shayla, we got a lot of hearts. That's good. You and I both gave hearts. Uh, very cool.
Well,
All right.
I'm
Close
staying
us
over
out.
time for 1 minute for this story. I was at a realtor happy hour at a coffee shop last Friday morning, and I talked to a realtor and I said, "Hey, how was your January?" And she said, "Good. It's heating up. I generated some more buyers." So I said, "Tell me more. How many buyers did you get?" She goes, "I got 3 buyers." I go, "Where did they come from?" Well, one I've been working with for 2.5 years. The other two were referrals. Tell me about the one for 2.5 years. Where's it going? Oh, well, her daughter's moving here. She wasn't sure she was going to move here. I've been following up for 2.5 years. Well, what was preventing her from coming over? How have you followed up? What is your process for tracking your leads? I mean, I'm just digging in to figure out like where are these buyers coming from and what's stopping them from taking action? What are they worried about? What are their fears? What are their concerns? She has not introduced a loan officer to any of these buyers yet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, like you're doing all this heavy lifting by yourself. What if we had gotten on a call with this lady in California who has a house to sell and did you know and talk about a bridge loan, talk about a recast, talk about a DSCR if she wanted to buy it as an investment property? Like, what if we could have had a 15-minute conversation on your behalf to just educate this woman about all of these different things? Might she have taken action sooner than 2.5 years of follow up? I don't know. But until you talk to a realtor and say, where are you getting your buyers? What are they thinking? What are they saying? We don't know how to offer help to them. So I encourage you, it's the first couple days of February. Go back and track your progress, recommit to tracking everything, and then have those conversations. How is January? Where are the buyers coming from? What are they saying? How are you getting them to the next step in the sales process? And then just insert yourself. Say, can I have that conversation? Can I help you? I want to put my energy and talents and wisdom to work for you. And that's how you're going to get business. But you've got to like kick down the door a little bit and go get it.
So my close on that, curiosity, like really care, like ask people questions, really care about them, and then create impact. Like what you heard is the formula of what Shayla just did is show up to your next realtor conversation with curiosity. And once they've answered questions, like, how can I create impact? How can I help them be more successful? And guys, you will have a full on February. So hopefully this sales meeting was awesome. I don't need to ask for any
Thank
affirmation
you.
on that. Thank you, Shayla Gifford. You rock.
You rock
Appreciate you.
too.
Everybody have an awesome day. Have an awesome week. And let's go full on in February. Take care.
Thanks for being here,
This is a
everyone.
wrap.
See ya.